Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today we're going to be taking a look at the AEW Unrivaled Supreme Sting. All right, everybody, so let's take a look at this packaging. So I'm a big fan of how AEW is going about their Supreme figures. They're basically, their answer to what WWE is doing with their Ultimates, right? So WWE has the Ultimates with a lot of extra heads, a lot of extra hands and accessories and whatnot. AEW's answer is doing the same thing. They're kind of doing a very similar style. So back of the box, you got a cool picture of Sting. It's very interesting that they did gear from 2021, and funny enough, that is Ethan Page's knee pads right there. So you got a cool little signature there on the back. I showed it right there, but you see it comes with two different t-shirts, so you kind of have a variety of what you want to display your Sting with. A shirt or no shirt at all if you want. You got two heads, two sets of hands, and I'm assuming he's got the baseball bat there. And I just got too much glare going on, so let's go ahead and open up this packaging and see what the Sting looks like up close. So in case you didn't know, this Supreme Sting, or the Supreme line, is a Walmart exclusive line. And if I'm being honest, Walmart has kind of been trash as far as getting exclusives, but it seems like they're getting a little bit better, especially with like this AEW stuff. I have a hard time finding like the Monday Night Wars line, so I am not committed to that line for the sake that it's a Walmart exclusive line. If they were a Target exclusive line, I think I'd be all in. But since Walmart's a little bit hard to get your hands on stuff, like it's very hit or miss. Like they hit the stores. If you don't hit that first shipment, you might as well call it a day because it's going to be hard to get your hands on it. Trust me. Especially the area that I'm at, it's very hard. But I was lucky enough to be able to get a tip from one of my action figure groups, and they let me know that the Supreme Sting was in stock. I think Sting is coming to Twin Cities Collector Con, or whatever it's called, here in Minnesota in November, and I almost want to pick up a second maybe to get him to sign. We will see. I'm not going to promise anything to myself, but let's take a look at these shirts. So the side of the packaging, like I said, he's got two different shirts that you could display him with. Let's open these up to get a closer look at what we got here. Okay. I was going to say, I'm wondering if they're like the Sting style long sleeves. Well, this one is not, but this one is. So later on in his career, towards the end, he was definitely rocking a long sleeve or a crew neck sweater or whatever. That's a pretty sweet design there in the front. You got that scorpion there, as well as a different print of a shirt, and that's just a regular shirt. So very cool. Head portraits. Let's take a look at these. I definitely see the one I think that I'm going to display him with, personally. Get these hands out. What on earth? Alright, let's pop these out. Get a good look at them. You get variety here, for sure. You got fisted hands, you got open hands, which have the Stinger logo on the glove. Gotta love that. Yeah, these are definitely like his woo screaming hands, so that's very cool. I almost want to display him with that, but he also has the baseball bat. So this is definitely more of like a classic Sting face paint, head portrait, head sculpt. He's got this weird kind of like expression on his face. I don't know if I like that, but the detailing by Jazwares is very nice. Got the hair, they nailed that. But I think I like this one a lot. So towards the end of his run, he was rocking kind of like the black paint on the outer sides of his face, around his hairline and around his jawline and his ears and whatnot. I dig that quite a bit. Personally, I don't know how much I dig the head sculpt on here, and we'll get into that in a second because I'm going to take him out of the package, but let's get a good look at how cool the initial presentation of this is. And it's a very nice presentation, as if he's just coming through Gorilla into the arena. So very cool, but let's take Sting out of the clamshell. So Sting looks pretty nice, but before we get into that, I think one thing that people were psyched about is this right here. And you're like, well, what is that? This is basically, over Sting's career, he has duped people in the crowd having like a fake Sting mask on, like the kid, plastic Sting mask that you put on, and he puts it over his own face. So he is packaged with this, and it's very interesting that he is. But this will definitely be like a cool, like if you have like a crowd like I do, and you got like different like wrestlers or different characters or whatever in the crowd, as fans, I guess you could put this on there. But it's pretty cool that this was included. Now, as far as the Stinger himself goes, this is probably the best Sting figure that has come out since, I don't know, I used to really like the TNA Deluxe ones. Those were sweet. But you got this nice, like, pleather, soft goods jacket. You got the nice detailing on it going all the way up the middle there, around the collars, as well as down by the wrists. And on the back, you got that Stinger logo. It does look like it is misplaced or off-printed a little bit, but it could just be how the jacket is placed on him. The head portrait that is packaged with Sting, it shows kind of like after Sting has been wrestling for, a little while, and face paint is worn off a little bit. Kind of a nice touch. He's got that cool baseball bat, as Sting does. I mean, why wouldn't he? So let's take this jacket off and see. All right, so he is packaged with the if I get this baseball bat out too, packaged with those plastic sleeves, so the paint job didn't run off and stuff. But man, he looks just like Sting. The gear is spot on. You got the scorpion going up and down, as well as on the boots. Very nice. Very similar to like, the Ultimate Edition articulation. Mine is a bit loose, if you can't tell. But he's got a ton of articulation. You got that Todd McFarlane toe articulation. Shoulders have great articulation. Biceps swivel. Elbows, wrists, and hands. So he's got it all. Only downside is, like I said, mine feels a bit loose, but maybe I'll have to get some Jazwares display stands so he can kind of stand up nice. But this is only my third ever figure that I've gotten from the Supreme line. The others I got were Punk and Cody Rhodes. I did not pick up Penta or Phoenix or Britt, or Kenny. Kind of just didn't nail it for me. But Sting is definitely one of my favorites of all time. I had a cool moment myself in my wrestling career with Sting one time. Was able to share the ring with him one time for a brief moment. Didn't wrestle him, but it was very cool. One of the only times I was ever starstruck. But let's swap out this head. Let's see if we like, let's do this goofy expression one, huh? Yeah, I'm not loving this head portrait. But we gotta try it out. To me, it doesn't feel like Sting. You know what I mean? Like, it's okay, but I definitely don't love it. I'm gonna swap it out immediately. And one of his legs just popped off, so easily popped back in, I think, but why that would happen, I don't know. Never had that happen with a Mattel product. I'm not trying to compare, but it's kind of hard not to. All right. So there we got this head, and that feels like definitely like end of career Sting. Maybe we pop on one of these shirts here and see how that looks. Maybe we'll swap it out for the cool hands, the Sting pose hands, I guess. So I don't know what happened there, but I don't know what happened with the QC department, but I'm just going to show you what just happened as I was just trying to pose him. But like the front piece came off. Like, what on earth? Like, I'm sure they're easy to pop back in, but like, what in the hell happened to QC, you know? And literally as I stopped filming right there, the backside fell off. His butt fell off. So visually, this is a great figure, but definitely like, get him in the pose you want, and you're gonna have to leave him displayed, because playing around with him too much, like I did not have this problem with the Cody or the Punk, but I don't know what happened down the road. I'm kind of not a fan of how easily it is to take him apart. His legs are falling off. These plastic pieces are falling off on his butt, essentially. It's kind of annoying. So great articulation, but like, get him in a decent pose and just kind of, I don't know, maybe it's just my figure. I don't like to give companies a hard time or rag on companies too much, but geez, that's kind of frustrating. So I'm gonna get him in one last pose here, and yeah. All right, so just for the sake of it, you got to do the famous Sting pose. So visually it looks cool. If you want to take a photo, whatever. Probably be better with the other head, but you know, that's probably what I'm gonna do for the thumbnail for this. I don't know, but my review is I'll give it a solid 7 out of 10. I just think visually it's a stunning figure, but execution wise, as far as articulation and the pieces of it, you know, I've had both legs fall off. I had the front piece fall off. The figure is just loose in itself. I'm gonna have to give it a 7 out of 10, just because just kind of a little off-putting for me. But otherwise, it's a great figure. Definitely go pick him up at your Walmart if you're meeting Sting. It's a good figure to get signed, and yeah. So if you like the video, be sure to like and subscribe. I'll see y'all next time.